Hello, beautiful people. Hope you're all feeling good, feeling funky, feeling fresh. Yes. How are you doing, babes?
I feel great.
Are you excited for this episode?
Yeah, hell yeah! Crazy. I'm so excited.
I am so excited for this episode and so gassed for this episode. As you guys know, we never have a guest we don't fuck with.
Yeah, I know that's right.
Important information. We said no to many. Many have contacted us. Many have DM'd us. Many have contacted our producer. Many have even reached out and offered payment. To which the money just wasn't enough. Otherwise, we would have said yes. Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 252 of the Receipts podcast. It's your girl, Tolly T.
And just call me Audrey.
And we have a special guest in the building.
A very special
guest. An incredibly talented guest. Like, as in, talented from born. Do you know that song, Me Bad From Me Born? Yeah. Like, she's been talented from born. And we are so excited to have singer, songwriter, Miss Jessie J.
I can't believe you told people I offered you money.
You did.
Nice to meet you guys.
Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm good.
Welcome.
How are you?
Thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate it.
I feel like I need to sit more face in you, but I'm aware that my split might
take this to an exciting
podcast within 10 seconds.
But also we could do with the views. So if you're into it.
I'm into it. We're all from Essex.
You can do it, exactly.
We're all Essex birds.
Oh my God, we are all Essex birds.
We're all Essex birds.
Essex birds. We are here. We drink your beer. We shag your lads and we drink your beer.
Is that
just me?
I didn't write that. I'm not involved. I'm looking at every camera.
We shag your lads and we drink your beer.
I don't know that.
Essex girls. No, okay.
I thought you were making that up.
Maybe it was just daggerness.
E to the S to the S to the E to the X.
Yes. Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm good. I'm busy. I'm booked. And I'm back.
What's going on? Because it's been like, I feel like, well, actually, to be fair to you, it hasn't been a minute because you're always doing something, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been working. Just maybe not putting out a record, I guess.
Yeah. But it's like, you've been in LA for the last
10 years, yeah. I was living in LA for 10 years and I just moved back last year.
Why?
Different things. I feel like it was my selfish era being in LA. You know, I was a single person for a majority of it. Obviously, I dipped in and out of different relationships. But when I fell pregnant, my boyfriend's Danish, so his family's in Denmark. Obviously, my family are here. It just felt like the right time. I just wanted to raise my boy here near his family. And once you have kids, your life can't look the way it did. So the life that I had, I was like, I'm good. I'm done. I'm ready to let that be the moment that I had a good 10 years, a good era. And now I'm ready to go home and put out music.
I think it's true because sometimes people become new parents and they're convinced that they can still live their life and the kid will just fit around their lives. Are you of the belief that no, so wrap that shit up?
No, I think it's a balance. I think the parents have to keep their identity and I think that takes a little time to discover because you have to do that in your own pace. But I also think that, yes, you do have to understand that you chose to birth another human that you have to raise and that ultimately they are your responsibility.
Are you enjoying it? How's it going?
Oh, it's the best thing ever.
Really?
Oh, it's my favourite thing in the world. I'm obsessed with him.
You have a really nice parenting.
But to be fair,
I feel the same.
I'm kind of obsessed with kids. I've always been such a maternal person, but my son is just is the love of my life.
Oh, that's okay. And did you feel that instantly? Because I remember seeing a video. This woman was like, I think it was like a couple of months after, and then she was like, "Okay, now I love my son."
Yeah, she was like, "Today I realised I love my child."
Love that.
Yeah, she was like, it took her a minute. Like, she didn't get it straight away, and I think some parents are like, it just doesn't happen straight away for them.
Well, there's obviously the chemical thing, and there's postnatal depression, and there's actual and I always say having a baby is the most relatable but unique experience. Like yours will be completely different to mine. Mine's completely, we get pregnant, we grow a child and we birth it in some way with whatever hole you have or
however you get it out.
No way is easy, but it's really your own. Not me, Mr. Miyagi. I was like, not now. It's your own experience. So I just think that for me personally, I've actually got a really beautiful video of my C-section that my boyfriend managed to film. And the love that you feel from both of us, it's just magical. Like I watch it all the time. He was born to Bob Marley. Yes, I'll have to play it to tell you what it's called. Yeah. Oh my goodness me. But it's on the video and I sing it all the time and I use it for every video I post of him and I can't think of it obviously because I'm on the spot. But just I had instant reaction. I had an instant connection with him.
Did you have an instant?
Yeah, definitely. I remember when she came out, after the panic of like, oh my God, because she didn't cry straight away.
Yeah, and you had a time when you,
I had a time when I was pregnant. So by the time I gave birth, that was like
just
a
ready
walk
to-
in the park.
Yeah,
I
you
was
just ready
like,
to
I'm
like-
ready. I don't care. I can take 24 hours compared to the 9 months or whatever. But when she came out, I felt it straight away. Like I didn't have that disconnect. And
Why was your
and it
pregnancy
developed.
so hard?
Because I had really bad HG.
What's that?
So it stands, oh my God, it stands for hyper something. But it's basically
Hyper
when you're
gangster,
like,
just
yeah,
straight.
I wish. But it's basically, I wish. Quite the opposite. It was like, you know, when you've got nausea, but it was like actual vomiting the whole time. So like from the minute I found out to the minute I gave birth, I was puking. Like
like her eyes were
it was
bloodshot.
non-stop. Like
babes.
there was one time where I puked so much that my eyes became bloodshot and I burst the blood vessel in my eye because I was puking so much and I had nothing left because there was like no food to puke.
Oh my
It was
goodness.
awful. And then at the very last minute, I got preeclampsia.
Oh.
So it was just,
that's
it was just
terrifying.
awful. And then like I almost
poor
failed
thing.
the sugar test that you do, but that's because I ate before I went.
I have never had
Yeah,
a
yeah. She's like, I had a chubba and a
I
dip
did have
dab.
a
That was a
Snickers
mistake.
bar.
I had a fruit bar. And so then they told me that I had, oh my God, what is that
what
called?
that diabetes?
Yeah.
that
Oh my God.
happens when you're pregnant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a form of diabetes.
Isn't
you
mad
get
how
when
you
you're
forget it
pregnant.
all, isn't
You know
it?
how mad it is
I
how many
completely
things
forgot.
can happen when you're pregnant?
It's
No,
actually
it's actually
insane.
mad because even when you observe someone close to you, it's just not the same until you go through it. And like the fear that something's going to go wrong all the time or like this, you just don't know all the tests they do. It's mad, but I'm so sorry. I had the sickness thing I had for the first 4 months and my throat would bleed. It was just awful, wasn't it? I'd like, you know, you have the blotches all over your face. That's,
Yeah, no.
Sorry,
it
why
was
would your throat bleed?
because I've
from
thrown up so
from
much.
the puking and the
I mean, this
regurgitating.
is the podcast I want to watch.
You lot are not. You lot are not selling
I
mother
know.
like pregnancy.
Oh no,
at
it's magical.
all.
It's magical.
Oh, it's beautiful.
No,
Like,
it is.
it's
Honestly, it is. It's
wonderful
like
when they
relentless
get
magic. That is what I will say.
Yeah.
It's relentless. It's never ending. But the highs, oh my goodness, do they outweigh the lows?
Oh yeah.
I've got a
Beyond.
friend who her thing is she's pregnant now. She can't stop spitting. She's like over
Yeah, my mum
excessive
had
thingy.
that, yeah.
So she has to carry around the thing to
Yeah,
spit
my
in.
mum
She
had that.
cannot stop
That is
spitting.
sexy, innit?
And that is
Yeah, that's not a bit.
Yeah.
Of me. I don't
Poor
know.
thing,
I mean, I
she's
just had
like,
puke.
She's like, this thing is horrible. She just can't. She's like every 5 minutes or less has to spit.
Yeah, no, it's not the one.
It
Which
is mad
is-
how different bodies
Yeah.
react to
Yeah.
pregnancy differently.
Mhm. And
My
especially
pregnancy was actually quite smooth after the throwing up.
after the
Thank
after the
God.
first
I was just
trimester, you were
huge.
all right.
How huge is huge?
I mean, everyone at the Brits thought I was about to give birth and I was 5 months. So everyone's like, it's dropped. It's dropped. She's going tonight. And I was like, actually, no, I've just got past the halfway point. So yeah, he was a big boy. That's why I ended up having a C-section because he was so
Oh,
long.
so big. How
Yeah.
did you find out?
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you want to know what the gender was as well?
Oh, 100%.
Mm.
I'm OCD. I want to know.
Yeah.
I also didn't want everyone to just start buying us like loads of stuff
Shit.
and, you know,
Mm.
like, yeah.
Yeah. And did obviously your son, was he a contributing factor as to why you wanted to move back to the UK
100%.
as well?
I wanted
Because
to
Adele
raise him
said
here.
that as well. She was like,
Mm.
she got to a point, she was just like, I just need to leave LA and raise my kids
Yeah.
home. It was James Corden, sorry, not Adele. She said it to Adele. That's what it was. Yeah. I was
We'll
like,
make it about
there
Adele
was
because-
something. We'll make it about Adele. That
No,
sounds
for
like a better
sure. And
story.
obviously just like, you just want to live where you feel comfortable and free and safe. And like that for me is London town. Like I just, like my family's here, my comforts are here, my familiarities are here, you know?
Yeah.
But he's got such a funny accent because his dad
was gonna
sounds
say,
American,
yeah.
but he speaks Danish to him. So he speaks Danish and English.
Ah.
So he's got like this like Danish American Essex. It's so funny. It's like, Mummy, my toes. My toes are stuck. And then he goes, yeah, over there. No, it's so cute. And then he sounds Danish and I won't do the Danish accent.
I feel
'cause-
like kids like that sound like they're from families with money. Like, do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Like
Oh,
international
God.
school.
I've gone to international
Yeah.
school. I've travelled. I'm never in one place. That's why I've picked
Oh,
up all
I
these
think he
little
just
accents.
confused. Bless him. He's so cute. He's
I think
so
it's really
cute.
I bet
adorable.
it's
Yeah, he
But
is
you,
very
like you said,
sweet.
you're an Essex girl. You grew up not too far from where I grew up, Chadderleaf. Dagenham.
Dagenham.
You went Seven Kings, didn't you?
I went to Good Maze Primary School.
Yeah.
And I went to Mayfield.
Mayfield.
Oh,
Okay, so I know a lot of girls that went to Mayfield.
Do
and
you?
you were the they
Mm.
used you as the, oh yeah, Jessie J goes to our school, you know?
Is it?
Oh my God.
My
for-
one is Arj from Towie.
For years.
Everyone has that person
Yes,
that
everyone
went
has
to their
went to their
school.
school and they're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, no, for years they'll be like, oh yeah, Jessie J went to our school. I'm like, okay.
And here they are.
And you were that, and then you went to Brits.
I went to the Brit school.
That,
yeah.
I can't tell you how jealous I am of that.
Is it?
I
wanted to go so
I
bad.
have no talent whatsoever in that space that will allow me to go to Brit school. But I just thought the girls that got to like leave school, was it year 9 or whatever, and go to Brit school.
Yeah. You can go from year 9, but you go year 10.
I used to be like, oh my
year
God,
12.
they are so lucky. Did you always want to go to Brit school?
I just wanted to go somewhere that I could just be unique and be myself. And obviously from something with music.
Yeah.
And I traveled quite a lot from quite a young age. I did a lot of stuff anyway. So I was kind of like, I never really loved being at school.
Did you know why?
I just wasn't academic. I was creative and I was one with words, but I couldn't spell any of them.
I still can't.
You know
spell
what I
that.
mean?
Yeah,
No, I've
yeah,
got a
yeah.
spelling mistake of my own lyric. How cringe. So cringe. So yeah, I just
What, tattooed on you?
yeah. It says don't lose who you are.
Oh.
How bad?
Oh,
That doesn't
I just thought
say
you meant
I'm
like
from Essex.
on the
Wait,
internet.
Jessie, why don't the person that did it be like, babe,
I got it done in Essex in Romford.
Oh, so he
Oh,
thought it
say
was
no
spelled
more.
like that.
And I spelled it out wrong.
Fair.
This was when I was 18,
Fair.
like when I wrote the song. My mum woke me up and she was like, something to tell you. And she was crying. And I was like, who died?
Oh.
She's like, your tattoo is spelled wrong. So yeah.
Is it somewhere visible?
It's massive. When I was pregnant, it was like, don't lose your Yeah. So, yeah.
I could have liked that story though.
really?
Fair.
Yeah, I mean,
funny.
it is what it is
Yeah,
at this
yeah,
point.
it is what it
Academic
is.
but articulate.
Yeah. It's fine.
So I went to Brit school just because I wanted to do something different and it was free. I didn't.
Was it free?
Yeah, it's
Was
free.
it based on talent? Like whether you paid or not, or was it just free for everybody?
No, it's free for everyone.
Oh, really?
So I
thought
imagine-
you
It's
had-
the only free performing arts school in the UK,
Oh,
which is why I try and
really?
raise money for them so much. I do so many. I do
Oh.
shows and events for
I
them.
didn't
Yeah,
realise
That's incredible.
that.
So
So
it's
what I
literally gonna be
thought
above
was
my
it
boobs at the
worked
end of
like
this
Save.
podcast.
Remember Save the Last Dance?
You have to audition.
yeah.
to
That
do it.
girl's. People used to say I look like the girl in it, the actress.
You don't
Julia
look like Julia
Stiles. You don't look
Stiles.
anything like
No,
her.
you don't. You've got that thing. So this is like, let me land before you get offended, right? I think anybody that looks like an animal is beautiful.
What do I look like?
A gazelle.
You look like an owl.
Is it?
Like it's my
Oh.
always say. I was like women that
Have you
look
seen
like
owls with no hair on?
animals.
They are hilarious.
I think I just think they are so stunning and uniquely beautiful. It's
Is
a proper thing,
it?
and you have that look to you.
She's like, how dare you? How dare you?
I don't let me laugh because you like look like an animal. You
Oh
bitch.
no, I don't, nothing offends me. No, girl.
I think it's
people could literally
stunning.
tell me I look like an udon noodle and I'd be like 100%. Like, I don't let it in no more. So
No,
I'll
I
take
think it's
it.
beautiful.
Thank you. I'll take it as a compliment.
Did you have to audition?
Yeah.
Like Save the Last Dance?
Yeah, 100%.
What was your audition?
So we had to do like a day of like, because I did musical theatre.
Mhm.
So I had to do acting, singing and dance. So we had to do like a monologue piece, a song, and then we did a dance thing. But I was so tall, because I was this
Yeah.
tall when I was like 14, that like they thought I was the teacher.
No.
So they're like, do it. And I was like, no, I'm a giant, but I'm
Okay.
also
Yeah,
a child.
What song did you sing?
Probably On My Own from Les Mis.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know if I know that.
Me either. But I was going to ask you, what were your parents like? Did you have like stage mum parents? Were they
No.
supportive or were
Super
they?
supportive, but very down to earth. Almost
Okay.
to a point now where we talk about how they maybe kind of didn't step in too much.
Ah, okay, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
in moments, but like, you know, to know, you know what I mean? And like, they're amazing. Like, but yeah, super supportive, so sweet, still married,
Ah.
still very much in love. They're like
That's so
best mates.
cute.
My dad's one of the funniest people ever. And my
Has their
mum is most
relationship
cute.
affected how you choose men or your relationships in the past? Do you
My
compare it?
boyfriend is basically, it sounds so creepy, but is so similar to my dad.
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
say
that's like my
that,
husband.
They're
girls
both
look for their
Pisces.
dad-
They're 3
yeah.
days apart. And they're both like, it's very like, well, my dad, it's funny because my dad is like, me and my dad are so similar. Like, he has anxiety and like, we have very similar things and we're very fast and like, but my boyfriend is super chill and calm and like this. And I'm like, so which is why we kind of work because he needs a
Yeah.
bit of that. And I need a bit of a,
That's calm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
That's like my dad. My dad is exactly like my husband.
yeah.
Really?
Like they're so similar. Like they're literally the exact same person. Like they're so similar. So I definitely do, well, not for everybody obviously, but I think.
Not for me, boy.
There's
I don't want that
some
man to be any. Please. Stay far
No, I mean, I
from
think
that.
sometimes it's like really positive. Sometimes you're like,
Yeah.
How long
Me
have you
at
been
all.
married?
So.
Not me doing this to
To
you.
me,
I'll be
no,
asking
No,
you
no,
questions.
please do. No, it's a conversation.
Because I like, we're very open books here at the Receipts
We are.
podcast. So actually, you guys can tell me what you think, yeah?
Okay.
So basically, I've been with my husband since like 2009, 10.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We got married in 2018. Then we separated for 2 years. Am I supposed to count the 2 years? I don't
So
know.
separated for 2 overseas and then got back together.
And then we got back together, and then I had my daughter after we rekindled.
So do we
I would
count
count-
it from 2020
so the marriage part. So do I count?
Were you still
getting
married?
Yeah. We never like got a divorce or anything, but we were separated.
Would
like,
you
not living
Can
together.
I ask a
Oh, you can
question?
ask anything.
Yeah.
Were
ask
you
anything.
with anyone else in that 2 years?
No.
Then count it.
Then count it.
100%. Yeah.
Oh, would you?
Yeah.
Because there was. There
You're
was,
still married, still legally married. That's how
Yeah.
you've been
definitely
married.
Still legally
Yeah,
married.
yeah,
There was, as you know, there was no talk of like divorce or anything. We didn't even get close to those conversations.
Right.
But I always wonder, like, do I count it or do I discount
I think
it?
if you're still married, you do count it.
Yeah.
But also, it's because you tell people everything. I just won't say I was separated. I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
we
for real.
were married 5 years. And I think I need to add the,
Yeah,
what,
yeah,
in
yeah.
2018
Yeah,
was a rough time.
Yeah, that's true. It's actually
I just
true.
won't add that bit.
It's
I just
true.
wait, we're married.
26, he was in the guest room.
I
Yeah,
hated
exactly.
it.
Yeah. But no,
Wouldn't
but you
add
know
it.
what? The reason why I ask is I actually want to know, like, do I?
I would
think it's your
include it.
decision with your
Yeah.
husband.
Yeah, then in that case, I've been married for however many years since 2018 is to now. Is that 6 years?
No idea. As I said,
Come on, guys.
7
no.
years.
Not
7 years.
smart.
Yeah,
Do you know what? Yeah, the other day I thought it was 8 years, and I was like, oh my god, it's our 10-year anniversary soon, and then I realised it's
No,
definitely
because you're
6
10 year
years.
anniversary, you want to redo your wedding, don't you?
100% want to redo my
Oh, I love
wedding
that.
pictures because I hate
The
them.
pictures. Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
mental.
just the pictures, not the actual
not
ceremony.
the actual day.
I just want to redo the pictures.
Right.
because I don't
My
have
sister's a
any-
wedding
any-
photographer.
Oh,
if you
is she? Okay.
Need
Oh,
someone.
useful.
Okay. that's
She's like
good to
me,
know.
but taller and a little more goofy.
Okay, nice.
Is she older sister?
She's older than me. I won't tell her age.
Okay.
Okay,
She's
cool.
older than me. She's 7 years older than me.
Mm.
I'm the youngest.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Did she see your talent? Growing up? Did
When
she see
when
your
I was
talent?
younger,
Yeah. Was she
I mean, I
like,
think
yeah, she's
everyone
talent?
had to. I was
You're
that
insane
child that
with
was
it,
like,
yeah.
like, there was no hiding from it. I was from a young age. I was just irritating and singing all the time. I mean, my first professional job was when I was 9.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think of child stars? Because I feel a bit funny. We always talk about like people posting kids on the internet makes me feel a bit funny because I just think the internet's a mad place. But also like child stardom makes me feel a bit funny as well because you see all the Nickelodeon things,
Yeah.
you see all of that shit. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all, it's so hard, isn't it? Because on a whole, you can't just go, it's awful for everybody. I think it really is important as to what the kid's doing and who they got around them. And making sure that it's legit to like
yeah.
them being a kid and it being okay and it not being exposed to stuff that's not good.
Do you feel like you
see-
looked
oh,
after? Sorry,
I was going to say, do you see any of that in your son? Like,
Me and my boyfriend talk about it all the time because obviously I share my son on my socials and we've gone back and forth on whether we should and when we shouldn't. But at the same time, we're both just like, we have so much love for him and he's such a huge part of our life that I'm not going to let the poison in this world take that away from me.
Right.
And obviously, again, I could regret that later down the line if something happened or God forbid it doesn't. But like, yeah, it's such a hard line to like figure out.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you think you were looked after as a child star? Like, do you think you had all of the things were cushy and good? Like, did you enjoy that time?
I don't ever remember feeling unsafe
Okay, that's
or not
good.
looked after.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So it's just a case of you just did it in your mind. I'm doing my dream in it. So there's
Yeah,
nothing
the only
thinking.
time I probably ever felt like that was when I was like 18 and I first got signed and I was put into sessions with producers that weren't always easy or nice or appropriate.
Okay, yeah.
And I think a lot of women in the industry talk about that. So, but when I was younger, to be fair, like, yeah, anything I ever did was so legit that it was like everyone that looked after us was amazing.
Yeah.
When you're in sessions as someone that is not musically gifted in any way, shape or form, I've always wondered like when people are in recording sessions and you're starting a song from scratch and obviously you write music, so you're going to be heavily involved in the whole entire process. Like, especially in like a male-dominated situation, did you ever feel like your voice wasn't valued or that you couldn't speak up on your opinions if you didn't like something or just your ideas being overlooked?
Yes, but not often. And I spoke about this recently, like with a group of girls, because there was a group of us that were like, we've all kind of had success in our own ways. And a lot of them was like, I'm just like, I feel like I've just been a yes girl. And I'm like, maybe that's why people have always kind of labelled me as difficult or this, because I've always said no. Oh, it's fine. I feel like, yes, obviously in moments, I am a bit of a people pleaser. And when I was very young and I would write, like, for example, I would go into a session and they'd be like, oh, we wrote this song. And it's like, I'm in the club. And I'd be like, yeah, I'll sing it.
Yeah.
Thinking in my head, like, what is
I'm
this?
not doing that. Yeah.
Who is
I feel like we're in a
this?
hospital and
That's
someone's
really-
really...
Honestly.
Maybe it's Mark.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Oh, okay. Tell her to come up.
Can she wait outside?
Or tell her,
No, she's still waiting in reception.
Tell her to wait in reception. I've sent a voice note. I just sent her a voice note. Oh, sorry,
and here
hon.
she is at the door. She just smashes through the door.
She does that. Hold it to the boot.
She's like, what do you see waiting the what the fuck this? So I can't remember what I was saying now.
Yes to
You're a bit of a people pleaser.
Yes, exactly. So I did do stuff like that. But I also think it was good for me to do stuff like that for me to like learn what I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So no, I've not. I've always been. I feel like I've got quite a I've never wear skirts, so I'm like in a weird. It feels weird wearing a leather skirt. But I've quite a strong, like masculine, like don't mess with me, especially when I was younger.
Yeah.
So
was that learned, or was that something that you were just always going to be that person? Because I'm quite that person of the don't, and it's not because there's any strength behind it. It's just that don't mess with me bravado thing, is it? Was that something you were or taught, or you just had that?
my mum and my dad did an amazing job at raising me and my sisters to be really strong, independent, like confident, outward spoken women.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to have like family conferences every week where we talk about how we felt
That's
and
so
what was
cute.
going on in our lives to make it a safe space. My dad's a mental health social worker, he's retired now. And my mum worked in childcare,
Right.
like as a nursery nurse. So she
like,
worked with like young people. So there was this kind of like really openness, protective thing that they both had together as a team.
Yeah.
It was really helpful for us to like just be confident in who we were. Yeah.
That is such an actual cute idea, because I think growing up, we were very much the adults and the kids. There wasn't, I don't think the kids had much say in what changed in the home, or like something would happen. And like, for like I was born here and then moved to Nigeria, and then I came to England. I don't think anybody told me what was happening.
Yeah, you just
like it was just that like this is
That's
what.
so
I'm 7 and I was just going to another country, and nobody sat us down to be like, hey guys, I don't remember anyway to be like, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna do things. I don't remember any big decisions being spoken about it.
Do you
it
think
just happened?
That's
Do you
mad.
think when those things were happening, do you think it was just, this is just a matter of circumstance, or do you think that your parents were like, this is actually going to make her stronger, like it's only just going to add towards her tenacity?
No, in all honesty, I think my mum was thinking, I've got to survive.
I've got survival.
I'm not thinking about what the 7-year-old kid thinks about the situation. I've got bills to pay.
Yeah.
I'm upstairs listening to BTK, making up dances, and she's literally thinking,
Let me put an hour aside just to explain it. And you're like, dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
It got to be. She hasn't got time to do that, right? Because she's thinking, I've got to pay these bills. I've got to make sure these 3 kids are fed. I don't even think it was like a malicious thing, or I don't care about my children thing. It's like, some people think of that we're surviving. And I think very much, I watched my mum the whole time I grew up. My mum was survival mode. And I think now as they're getting older, you're like, you don't need to be in survival mode anymore. You can just live your life. And I think even like growing up, I think it taught me to always be in survival mode. And then you have to retrain yourself to be like, it actually doesn't have to be like that. You don't have to be like about things. It can just be life is just happening. There doesn't have to be what's the next step? Or am I going to have enough money? Or what's the next thing? Or things like that. And I think, especially when you work in a creative industry, it's best to just let things happen, because things are going to, like, sometimes you're on top of the world and then suddenly you're not.
No, 100%. I always say that not everyone can have the view at the top of the mountain. There's not enough space.
Exactly.
And you just got to make sure that you like look after yourself when you're at the bottom or the middle or the side or the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think people always expect people to become parents and know it all. They don't.
Yeah.
You know, my mum said to me the other day, she was like, I'm being a parent of 3 children with children now for the first time. Everything's new. And I think we get to a point where we think that they've just like completed their mission and that's it. And now it's out. And they've not. You know, my mum said to me, she was like, I used to come to you for the break and now you've got a kid. And she's like, so that I'm adjusting to that. And so it's so interesting. Like you've got to remember that they're still living their lives. They've never had a 36-year-old, you know, 37. Wait, how old am I? How old am I? 37.
That sounds about right. Yeah, I'm 35. Yeah, you were that much older than me, yeah.
It was weird. Just went forward in time. But yeah, so I just think it's interesting, like as you say, like you think that parents always get it right. And
yeah, but I just
don't.
think everyone's just figuring it out. And I do sometimes, like, that's why I'm very like thinking about critiquing parents, because I'm like, this was her first time too, to be fair. And especially from a parent who's an immigrant. She didn't speak the language. She's like, she was really just trying to figure it out. And we lived in Dagenham when it was incredibly racist. My God, that place was hell. So it was just like all of those things. I don't think, let me sit down with Talani and see what she thinks about us.
Yeah.
If you don't pack your bag and let's
But
go.
also, I feel like the reason why sometimes like people in whatever the survival mode situation is, if it's coupled with love, then you can look back on it and just be like, yeah, that was survival.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? I feel like you can say that because you know that it was also cushioned in love.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas some people don't have that. They might have like the stern parent that's in survival mode, and because they're in survival mode, it's kind of trickling down to the children getting the brunt of it. But if you're getting the love, then you can comprehend that the two can exist at the same time. Just quickly going back to what you were saying about your mum being a grandma now. Do you ever, because this happens with me and my mum, and I love my mum because she is like my rock. Like my daughter's with her now whilst I'm here.
Yeah, same.
And
not your daughter's with my mum.
Yeah.
My son's actually in your house with
that
your
would be
mum.
hilarious if that was the case.
Imagine.
And but sometimes we bump heads about the way she wants to do things. So for example, and it just winds me up. But I love her. I love you so much. But you wind me up.
It's so funny how people cannot critique their mother without saying, but I love her.
No, I have to because I feel like
when
I
it
have
comes
to.
to dads, people openly like, yeah, that man was a cunt, and there was like, but I do love him. That is so true. Women are fiercely loyal to their parents. I'm not saying their mothers,
with my
not their
mum.
parents, their mothers.
But I just feel like I have to like put that disclaimer because she's
I'm
literally
fiercely
looking at my
loyal
child,
to my mum.
looking after my child, and I love her and appreciate her for it. But she does this thing where it's like she undermines me sometimes, and it really gets on my nerves. So, for example, she was like, my daughter was sick a couple of like last week. She had hand, foot, and mouth. Oh my god,
is it the worst?
A nightmare. And so my mum,
they're like a walk-in. You're just like,
it was
like you want to cuddle them, but you're still like,
it was literally so awful. But my mum was
poor
acting
thing.
as if like it was the end of the world, and she was trying to like figure out how she got it. And I'm just like, I don't know how she got it. She could have got it from playgroup. She could have got it from Sea Life. I've got no idea. We went to Sea Life the other day. She could have got it from there. And so my mum was just like, she sent me a voice note, and she was like, oh, because we've got this like one of those water tanks. And my mum was like, oh, I think
she's got a water tank. You've got SeaWorld. You've been to Sea Life.
There's a lot of water going on. For someone who can't swim, there's a lot of water going on for someone that can't swim. But no, my mum was like, oh, do you think that maybe you should get rid of the water tank? Maybe she got sick because the water tank's been there too long.
Because she can't reach it. I've been to your house. I know
was
where the
just
water
like-
tank is.
But also I was like, no, that finished way before she got sick. So that's impossible. And then she's like, oh, you know when you steam her bottles, because we've got the man bottles, so you put them in the microwave to steam them. And I'm just like, I'm going to do it the way the
They
brand
say
says
to.
you should do it. My mum's like, no, you have to put it on the fire. Like, you have to put it in boiling hot water and steam them. And I'm just like, stop undermining me. Do you ever have that, like with your mum, like, you know, trying to do things in her way versus
I think
your way?
it's really easy, and I don't want to become a therapist right now, but I do think
No,
it's
please do.
easy as like the daughter that when you're doing the best you can and you're like trying to be the mum you are, that you want to be, and you're trying to discover that, and then your mum makes a comment that we take it personally as an attack to us versus
take
it
it so
just
personally.
being what it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, it might just be her concern and her guilt for feeling like, I want to find out what the problem is, because anything in her home is going to be attached to you because you've put it there. So if she comments on any of it, you're going to be like, oh, she's trying to
It's a
offend
personal attack.
a personal attack, but it might not be. But no, my mum, the only thing that so minor, but the only thing that we butt heads about is that she never puts a bib on him if he has a snack, so all of his clothes are stained. And I'm that mum that hates stains on clothes.
Do you know I hate
But-
bibs?
Does it? You
I
hate?
think bibs on kids is so ugly.
I didn't use them.
Trust me, when you have
this is
kids, you will have a
ridiculous.
bib on a kid.
But it's because I think it ruins their outfit.
Well, it was
I
ruining their
didn't
outfit
use
when they
them,
got
you know.
watermelon juice
I
all
don't
down
mind
it for the
that.
whole.
It's dirt, but like they'll have such a nice outfit and they've got a fucking duck of a bib on there. I hate
Just
it.
make the bib match.
You've got to get nicer bibs.
Just
Yeah,
whatever's,
just like nice
whatever's
bibs.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like-
But no, I hear you. I totally get it. Like sometimes it's really hard when you love your parents, but they might do or say stuff that you're trying to heal from your own childhood that then they're doing to your children. And you're trying to like break that thing. And you're maybe that you can see yourself in that behavior too and how you parent. Like I know I have that sometimes. And like my mum might say something or talk to my son in a certain way and be like, Mum, it's like he might spill his whoop. She'll be like, what are you doing? And I'm like, it's okay, baby. We'll try again. You're learning. And it's like, they're the moments where we probably butt heads the most. But my mum is the only reason that I'm still standing as a parent. So like it outweighs that stuff.
Just
you know what I
relating to
mean?
it. Yeah,
oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah.
Like she, through all of it, even just from way before, from being told I couldn't have kids and this and that, you know, like all of it, the whole journey to getting my son out of my body safely my mum has like kept me and my boyfriend together in moments where we were struggling and we needed a break and a date night. My mum was the one that was coming and knocking on the door and going through the, you know what I mean? And it's hard.
Yeah.
Was the notion that you might not be able to have kids because of your health condition that you have?
So I have adenomyosis and endometriosis.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have endometriosis and adenomyosis is basically the same thing, but it's in the uterus wall. So you can't remove it. So the reason that it isn't that you can't get pregnant, it's that it's a struggle to carry because when you have your period, those vessels that your period line and then bleed out are in your uterus wall. So they cramp and they squeeze anything out, which is why I had a miscarriage. But with lots of natural stuff and lots of acupuncture and health and diet, I got pregnant naturally and carried and went full term, which I never expected. I was told that I should have a hysterectomy in 2015.
Wow.
And I said no. And I said I'll manage the pain, which was horrific. Like the pain I used to be in, when I actually used to film it because it was so horrific, where it was basically labour pain. So I'd be like, I was being in this like excruciating pain. I'd throw up, I would pass out, and I would have it right before going on stage. And then once it passed, I was fine. And I'd be like, by the time the doctor got there, they'd be like, you just seem exhausted.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no. And I started filming it so people could see it. And it was basically that. It was when I'd get my period or like I'd get like, it was my body having labour contractions.
Well, you listened to, like, how long was it before they diagnosed you with this? Or was it something that was easy to
they thought it was IBS for a long time. So I had loads of like, they all went through like the gut thing first.
Yeah.
And then it came around to this. So, but you also have to be operated on. Like you have to do like I can't remember what it's called, something oscopy. They're all oscopy.
Yeah, that one.
Literally. They start talking, the doctors are like, but yeah, so I had to have that. And then they thought that I had, and then the pain continued. So I went back in and I had one for the belly button and then they discovered the adenomyosis. So it's just something that your body learns to adapt to if you can manage it with pain. And if you can't, obviously, then it's more detrimental to your fertility.
What's the mental of that though? Because I remember when I was 32, I decided I was like, I'm gonna go just check out my eggs. Because I think you spent your whole life trying to avoid having a kid, and then the shock of when you want a kid, you're like, oh wait.
The choice. Once the choice is gone,
then
you're like, wait, what if I do want it?
What if I did want it? Exactly. So I was like, let me just go figure out. I spent like 20s, 30s when I was having sex to be like, just make sure you don't get pregnant. And it's like, actually, go make sure you can. Girl, just make sure everything's well. So I went to go get like,
it's like
a check.
Yeah.
Did this check. And then I remember like it takes like about 2 weeks for them to come back and you're like, oh my God, what? I started thinking of the worst kind.
No, the anxiety is awful.
I was like, I've never thought about this before in my life because you're just like carrying along and then you're like, you think I'm going to try and I'll have a baby and it'll be fine because woman, yay. And then you get the results and the first thing he says to me was like, you are obese. I was like, sorry, what?
Wow.
Why are we?
Savage.
Like, as in, I was like, it was like, yeah, you're this height and you're this weight. It was like, yeah, you're obese. He was like, so if you do want a kid, think about losing weight. I was like, okay.
Work on your delivery, sir.
It was so like the doctor's manners that they're meant to have, that man did not have it at all. And then he was like, everything is fine or whatever. But then it made me, like prior to that, just to wait to just be told if it was going to be possible. I feel like my mental health just went to shit because I was like, wait, what if?
Waiting on anything.
Yeah. What if I can't?
Health-wise is mad.
Yeah.
And then it feels like it's something that you feel like, well, women do it. So if I can't do it, am I somehow lesser?
No, literally. Like when same sort of experience. Like I just thought that people just had babies. Like I never thought about fertility issues until there was like a wave when I was in my early 30s of a lot of people I knew getting married and I was going to so many weddings. And then suddenly I started hearing more stories about fertility problems. And I just honestly, it never crossed my mind. I just never really thought about it. And then suddenly I'm having people that are very close to me having all sorts of fertility issues, like going through, child loss and all sorts. And then that's when I was like, the same thing. But I did exactly the same thing, but mine was in my separation because I was trying to figure out what I wanted out of life. And if so I knew I wanted to be a mum. I thought I wanted to be a mum, but I wasn't sure whether it was me or whether it was conditioning. And so when I was living alone, I was like, enjoying my life. I was like, this life could be okay. Like I could see myself living this way forever. So I thought, let me go and also do the fertility MOT. And then I did that. And then afterwards, I was like, no, I actually do.
Yeah,
I think this is something that I want in my life. But up until that point, I just never thought about it. So
the assumption is, it just happens, doesn't it?
Exactly. And, you know, especially like fertility in older women, like I'm so like fascinated by it because I had my daughter at 37. And so technically that's considered like,
geriatric.
Yeah.
Which
that word is mad.
I was like, when the guy called me geriatric, I was like, it's just the way out. I was like,
it's actually
like,
after my scan, I literally walked out of the room and I was like, I'll see you next time.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me just
I tell you, you're geriatric.
100%.
Yeah, but when you're over 35, you're automatically geriatric and you're automatically high risk until you're told you're not.
Oh my God.
So it's just like, oh, you're over 35, so therefore it's high risk. And then after you have like, I think your first scan on the NHS or something, then they kind of say, oh no, well, you're low risk.
Age shaming women is so
it's just
mad
embedded in our
because
culture.
men don't get age shamed.
Well, it's not age shaming, it's just the biological clock of your body and what. I mean,
but
then
so
I feel like it
debate
changes
to be like that's
I
not
know
that
it's not the
true
case.
anymore.
I know.
Yeah,
and now I think there's a statistic that I saw the other day that's like there's more women now having kids in their 40s than ever before ever.
But the men are getting scared though, because I keep on hearing all these like misogynistic men and stuff, you know, like the red pillars. And then all of a sudden, because I feel like women have like flogged them down with their stupid beliefs now. Like they can't really run with a lot of the things that they've been pushing about keeping us in the house. And we know they know that's not going to happen.
Keep me in the
so
house.
now they're talking about exactly. Now they're trying to talk about the world population and the, you know, just the low birth rates. Like
do you know there's global warming with enough?
That's their new talking point now, and they're just talking about like the low birth rate and how, you know, this year was like the lowest recorded birth rate in the entire history and blah blah blah, and they're trying to fearmonger through that angle now.
There's
and
enough
it's just
people
like
in the world.
there's enough people.
You can't actually convince me there's not enough people in the world. Have you been in the Central Line at 5 p.m?
Yeah, exactly.
That
there's
is enough people.
My favourite thing about the Central Line is when there's a train there and people run on and go,
yeah.
and then it sits there for 4 minutes and you watch them try and not look embarrassed and they're just like,
I am absolutely been
trying to make eye contact.
You just gotta get on the phone.
And then they look out,
and just
to have a little look around to look like they're just like, oh God. And then the doors close.
Yeah, you've got to stare at them though.
Exactly.
You have to
that.
stare at those people because why are you running? The Central Line comes every 2 minutes.
No, but sometimes.
But it's tourists as well. It's like tourists.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be that guy that's like low key and then it's like ding, ding, ding. And then you're like, your bag's in the door, you know?
Yeah, no, very,
When's the last time you got the train, Jessie?
Well, I've lived in LA for so long now.
that's the reason.
Yeah. No, I actually got on the train every day when I was pregnant. When I came back at 6 months pregnant, I came back to give birth.
Yeah.
And my boyfriend thought I was nuts, but I'd get on the train and go everywhere.
Why?
Just don't know. I just had this. I felt like people wouldn't bother me if I was pregnant.
They wouldn't, to be fair.
Or
did they?
100%. But
they still bothered you.
If I told myself they wouldn't, then I was like, I can do it. But no, I think I missed like that freedom of, if I'm honest, I hadn't been back to the UK in a long time for that reason. And I was like, I need to just do it. I need to like go back to the old way and just like get some of that confidence back. And so no, I do go on the train every now and again. But now my fear isn't like being noticed. That doesn't bother me. I mean, sometimes with men particularly, but it's more, I'm claustrophobic. I don't like being underground. So I'll do the overground all day. Catch me in King's Cross, getting a train to somewhere. But like
someone
I'm not,
out there's waiting.
But I'm not trying to walk under a tunnel for like 15 minutes with like 50 other people and nah.
So I hear it.
Fair.
What other normal things did you do apart from get the train?
I do everything pretty normal, to be honest.
But your face is so recognisable that I don't know.
It's my voice that people recognise.
That part as well.
Yeah, to be fair. You've got a cadence and a tone to your voice that is like, oh yeah, that's Jessie.
I thought 10 years in LA might change it, but now I'm still Oliver Twist. But yeah,
you're one of the very few that sing the British accent. That's what it is, isn't it?
Do I? I don't think I do. Everyone tells me I do. So people like, whatever, I can't win.
Yeah. No.
Imagine, I feel like if you sing anything in an English accent, it just sounds like a musical.
Yeah.
Seems like everybody's got a price. I wonder how they sleep at night. Everything sounds like...
It does sound like a musical.
You know, that guy with his hair over his face, like, wonder how they sleep at night. It's like that vibe. Everything sounds emo.
Yeah, it actually
does. So...
But your career has been, you've been here, there, songwriting everywhere, all over, right?
Going for it.
What has been the peak in the pit?
Peak, I don't know. Honestly, just when I'm happy and I'm enjoying it, is always like the moments that I remember the most. They can be the smallest little moments, but I'm just like, when I feel like healthy and happy and like I have a good team around me and everyone's just having a good laugh.
Yeah.
Like I never really did this to be famous and make loads of money. The irony of price tag, so bad, isn't it? But like, I really just did it because I like feeling good and like being around people and I like having a good time and making people feel something.
Yeah.
But like peaks, like, I don't know. I feel like people want you to say like the Olympics, you know, like.
It doesn't have to be as particular. I think sometimes people think your peak is what they assume your peak is. Sometimes your peak was, hey, I didn't do a show for years and I did a show and it sold out and that was fucking amazing.
Honestly, I do stand up now.
Do
Like,
you?
Yeah. So
Audrey.
Oh my God.
yeah, do you?
Well, I've done one
She's
show.
done one show.
How was it?
I loved it. I haven't done it since. I really enjoyed it. I
That's
want to do it
great.
again. Yeah.
So
Wait, what made you do stand up?
I've always liked making people laugh.
You are funny though.
That's good start.
Tick. From one comedian to another.
Yeah, exactly. You are funny though, girl. You're a funny girl. But no, so I've been focused on that in LA a lot, like writing material and practicing that. And I do acoustic shows. So I sing and then I'll do like stand up. I don't like to announce it because then it just feels cringe. And then people are like, Jessie J's trying to be a comedian. And it's like, no, I'm just like
trying.
But I think that's the thing about trying new things, that everybody is. So I'm doing swimming lessons, right? And the reason why I hate doing it, honestly, one of the reasons why I hate swimming is because it's so obvious I'm trying to stay alive, and it fucks me off. Like you can just see me like I'm really trying to stay alive, and it really irritates me. And I think that's the thing. Everyone's embarrassed about being seen to be trying. Like it's okay that you can announce that. It's okay that you're trying. It's almost
it's more that people then will expect me to be funny or like. I don't know, it's that weird to be like, this is like a stand-up show. And I'm like, well, it was, but I just didn't announce that it was. But like, should I, so that you take it seriously?
I think you should announce that it is. Yeah.
Also, do you have acupuncture?
No, I've never done it.
You need acupuncture, 100%. It will calm your nervous system down.
It's my vibe.
I don't actually understand.
Your vibe is way off.
What vibe am I giving
Can
you?
you just whip out the sage for my back? Imagine, I'm just like, no, it will calm your nervous system. I have acupuncture like once a month. I try at least.
Right, okay.
And it has changed my life.
I don't understand what acupuncture is.
How does it work?
You just mentioned survival mode.
Yeah.
Like that you're like swimming to try and like stay
alive.
alive. But like if your nervous system was calmed down, it would help all of those things.
So I just always see it as pins going into people's heads.
Backs, no?
Well, it's anywhere. You can have it anywhere.
Oh, is it?
Ears, mouth.
Wait, how do you decipher what part of your body
it's different points that you need. So like your heart protector's here. Like your decision point is like between your toes. Yeah. I have it all over me. And cupping.
Do you know what? I might try it because
you should.
Like so many things, I don't believe it.
You'll feel it.
Really
yeah. So I want to try it to see if I will feel it because I'm so skeptic of so many things.
Yeah, same. My friend was having fertility issues and she's convinced that acupuncture is what helped her get pregnant.
100% it did.
Really?
I'm the opposite. I believe in everything. Why not? Life's too short.
Yeah.
Like if you smell this flower, I'm like, give it.
It will make it.
I will take it. Yeah, like if you look into this vase, I'm like, and no one even told me what happens. I'm just ready and willing.
Are you
I'm
into astrology and stuff?
Oh yeah, and like spirituality and like
crystals.
Like
and
I take all Chinese herbs. I'm that guy.
Oh, okay. I'm so far from that. You know.
Yeah, same.
But
Astrology,
that's LA, I
don't
think,
really
probably
know.
as well as kind of
health
is wealth.
Yeah. LA is a weird fucking place.
It is. It's
Oh
like
my God,
it is a
it's
weird
weird.
place.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
a very
Like
selfish
being there.
place.
Yeah.
You know what? I love LA, and I will always champion LA because it's given me some of my favorite years of my life. But I do think it's difficult to find people that are there for reasons that aren't selfish and self-absorbed. That's the only thing I'll ever say. And I think also as well, like anywhere, like if you're in America, England looks like if you walk down the street anywhere, you're getting your phone snatched.
Oh yeah.
Or you're getting like mashed up. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it is bad, but it's not that bad. And it's the same with America. It is pretty bad, but it isn't in LA. It's not as bad as like people think. I think you've just got to know why you're going, have good people around you. But I do love the way people in LA big each other up and they really do rally together. Like community is so big in LA. And obviously after the fires, you saw that.
Yeah.
And obviously I lived through like so much while I was there. But It is a weird place.
When you moved over there, because so we've got like another show that we do called Draw Receipts.
Right.
And one of the number one things that people write in, so basically we're like agony aunts. They send in their dilemmas.
Oh,
and we
I'd
give
love
them
that.
advice.
We are.
I'd love
At this
that.
point,
Oh my God, would
been
you?
doing this for
Amanda,
9
let's
years.
get some questions for Jessie.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, let's do that.
So
Okay.
people
I would
write
love to
in.
be a therapist.
And one of the number one things they ask about is making friends. When you went to LA, did you go over there with a strong friendship group, or did you have to make new friends?
No,
And if so,
I
how
had
did
to
you do
make
that?
friends,
Oh,
yeah. And if
really?
I'm honest, you know what? When I think about it, a lot of the friends that I made weren't from LA. It was like European,
Europe,
English, or like East Coast. There wasn't a lot of like West Coast people, but I did in the end. But you have to put yourself out there. It really exposes your insecurities because you can't walk down. Like, I mean, obviously Santa Monica you can, and Venice. There's places that you can walk, and there are places that you can do that. But LA is somewhere where you have to drive everywhere. So you have to get in your car, know where you're going, park, get out. So it's not often that you're just like,
Just gonna
brush your
culturally
shoulders,
treat someone.
which
Yeah.
then culturally lends itself to people not being communicative. So it kind of becomes a bit like everyone's got their thing and they're going where they're going. And also there's a lot of famous people. So people go there to see famous people or be close to famous people, but want to just be attached to that and not actually have contributed in any way.
How have you navigated friendship as a whole though? Because you've been famous for a very long time, right? And especially you got famous at that teenage age where people weren't whole people yet. So they were using people. They were how did you navigate?
Do you know what? I've
friendships?
actually got a lot of the same friends.
Have you?
Yeah, but I think it's so funny because I hate, one of my pet peeves is when famous people complain about being famous.
No, but it's okay.
Like when they make documentaries about it.
Yeah.
It's like, I won 7 Grammys and it was the hardest time of my life.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
God,
oh,
why did you
God.
give me this talent?
You know, it's like, oh, come on, let's have a bit of perspective, you know? And it's so, for me, I just think that fame this is one thing that is frustrating as someone that has experienced fame quite quickly, is that people change around you.
Yeah.
But everyone thinks you've changed. No, you change with your environment. Like if you came into this room tomorrow and you went, hello everyone, and everyone ignored you because they were so nervous, you're then going to stop saying hello because they don't say hello back and then you're a bitch.
Yeah.
And that is what I really struggled with, where I was like, people don't treat me the same. So my experience of humans aren't the same now. So then my response is different. And then when I respond differently, then I'm the issue. So that was the thing that I think I struggled. I don't even know if you asked me about that.
No, but it's a fair point. I just asking about making friends and realising if a friend was actually a legit friend or not.
Sniff the vase. Something will happen. But yeah, friendships, it's not easy, but I love my LA crew, man. I love it.
Do you think that those friendships were easier to form because maybe because you were saying like everyone's kind of like a duck out of water, like the friends that you made were all ducks out of water. So was that like the common ground that you guys had? Or
I just think I've got a good sense of judgment of character.
Yeah,
I can
think
always
that's
sniff
well.
something.
Yeah.
Sometimes I knew straight away if someone was using me, but I'd be like, let me see how like, you know what I mean? I could suss it out.
Yeah.
But I just think it's like in any human, we can always kind of go,
Has anyone shocked you? Because I feel like everybody's had that friend. I was like, oh, that
100%.
that has thrown me. I did not expect that from her.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh God. I'm trying to think of different situations that I can say without, because you know the one thing about me, and some people, my boyfriend and I talk about this a lot, I'm very forgiving. I was raised to look at why people do things versus how did it make me feel first. So if someone hurts me, like I had a really big falling out with one of my closest friends, and as soon as she kind of admitted to me what she'd done, she was like, okay, well, we're not friends anymore. And I was like, you can't decide that.
Yeah.
You've hurt me, but you can't just tell me we're not friends no more. She's like, okay, well, let's talk about it and we'll meet up in the car park. I was like, we're not drug dealers. Like you can come to my house. We can have an adult conversation.
Yeah.
Like I always say, like, and again, it's a really hard line to draw because you need to have boundaries. And I'm a very open person. I'm very loving, even though people for some reason think I'm really scary and intimidating. I think it's the pale skin and the dark hair. I'm a witch. Imagine I flew out of here on a broom. No,
Listen, the way I start speaking in tongues.
You'll be sniffing the flowers.
Anything.
But like, what was I saying before that? Oh my God, my ADHD.
Very
About your
forgiving.
friends.
Yes, very forgiving. And so we sat down. I said, look, if I was in a relationship, with a man and he did me wrong or I did him wrong, you sit and you talk about it and you figure it out a lot of the time, sometimes to a toxic level.
Yeah.
And in friendships, something happens, and a lot of the time it's like, I'm done.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't need friends like that.
Yep.
Yet we're in the most toxic relationship.
Yep.
So that's not a bit of me.
Yeah.
So I will do the same thing that I'll do in relationships with my friends, my family, with my parents. I've sat with them as like friends and gone, what you did to me wasn't okay. Let's talk about it and let's figure it out. That if people aren't willing to figure it out, that's a different conversation.
Yeah, of course.
But like, so I sat with her and was like, yes, this really hurt me. I know that you've been going through this and this, which obviously contributed to it. That doesn't disregard the way this happened or this happened, and we've come through it and we're stronger than ever.
Yeah.
So
I do think there is a thing in our book, I talk about that, about female friendships and the way we are so unforgiving of each other. And I was like, why is that? But I think it's because women expect more from other women than they do from men. I think we genuinely believe that. I think a lot of women regard their female friends as, you're better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you betray you,
no, I
it
think it's
feels
also we
thingy.
react in what we would have done versus what they would have done.
Yeah.
Like they ain't you.
Yeah.
So you've got to go, like people go, I can't believe they did that. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
That is who they are.
Yeah.
They're showing you who they are. Like that is them. Like you wouldn't have done that because that ain't you.
Yeah.
But they're the friend that throws hands. So why are you surprised they threw hands?
I don't believe in holding women to a high standard. I think it's a form of weaponization that people use to keep on our place. Like, I'm a human. Like, I'm going to be flawed. I'm going to... She's like...
what?
I feel like women are also capable of being flawed. And this,
I do think we are,
project this idea that, like, we don't make mistakes or, we're different to men and men, boys will be boys kind of thing. I think that, in turn, it's dangerous for women.
I hear you, but I generally do think women are better than men.
We are in so many ways.
But
honestly,
more
because of how we're socialised.
Because of how we're socialised. I don't even think it's a thing because we're just born better.
Yeah.
I think we're brought up to be kinder, to be nicer, to be more morally
But is that
aligned.
because we have those things? Like what do men have that women have equally? Books, magazines, like groups,
that's because
openness.
we do it for each other. They don't do it for themselves.
But we're brought up to be like
that.
But
men do, but they're often not given the opportunity to.
Do you know what it is? With men, the bad ones are the louder ones. So for example, I know guys that are doing amazing work. Like even if you just take podcasts, for example, there are so many great, amazing male podcasts that are talking about amazing things. Like my brother-in-law, for example, he's got an amazing podcast. It's called The Social Worker and the Mentor. Go check it out. And they actually talk about things that are so beneficial because my brother-in-law is a social worker and he's very senior in his position. And they talk about societal things that are...
No, go on, babe.
You okay? Just adjusting.
No, you can keep going.
They talk about societal things that are actually happening in the world that are like, problems. Like they're talking about good things. So there's good guys that are doing amazing podcasts, but the loud ones always get the attention. Do you know what I mean? So it's the red pillars and the manosphere guys. They're the ones that get. But whereas with women, I feel like we champion the more progressive things
again
for ourselves.
because we're better. We're socialised to be better.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. But we're raised to go speak your mind. Don't like you look after her. How about you look after him?
But I
do feel like from a young age that we are told to, and I think maybe I'm saying this because I've lost men in my life to suicide from not feeling valuable and not like worthy and not good enough. I do feel like men are conditioned to be the protector, to be strong, but then women go, well, I need you to be vulnerable now. And they're like, well, I never got taught how to do that.
Yeah.
So how do I do that now? And a lot of the times, the loud, rowdy ones or the rude ones just need a hug. Can you tell I've been raised by a therapist?
I can tell, but I'm always a bit funny about this idea that women should be more empathetic to men because I think men need to be more empathetic to each other. And that's the first thing because a lot of the time, it's never what we're saying to them. There was Jordan Stevens did a video the other day and he was talking about something he disagreed with. And a lot of women were like, cool, let's do better. And the men was like, well, if you listen to a woman, then you're an idiot. You lot are not being nice to each other, but you expect empathy from us. I would actually argue that for years, women have been so empathetic towards men. That's why we're able to be where we are now. I don't think it's up to us to carry on being empathetic towards them. I think we've done that and been raised to do that for years and years. And I know you haven't been taught how to be vulnerable, but hey, I'm giving you the space. Let's try it now. But that's not on women to change. If men, so let's say, for example,
I don't think it's on us to change that. I think it's to encourage and to remind and to give them, as you say, like a space to be able to do that.
That's all I can do, and I can't push anymore. In fact, you're probably more likely to listen to another man that allows you to be vulnerable. For example, now they talk about the Chris Eubank and the fight, basically. The clips of those fathers hugging their sons is going everywhere, right? Everyone's like, oh, this is amazing, like men raising men, blah, 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 blah. And it's doing that because they're macho men. That's why people are like, oh my God.
But even like some of the negative comments I've seen, like, do you know what? And thank God, because I saw that video of Nigel Benn hugging Connor,
Yeah.
and it made me so emotional. Like the way he held him in his arms and then kissed him, I just thought it was the most beautiful thing ever. And luckily, the majority of the comments that I saw were in agreement, even from big burly men that love boxing and all the rest of it. Everybody, like, if you couldn't see the beauty in that, then you're very damaged. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, every now and then there was the odd comment where people were like, this is weird. This is weird. Like, why is a man kissing his son like that? Blah, blah, blah. So I think it goes both ways. I think that the disparity in why men and women are so like, the gap is so wide is because, like, I always say it goes back down to how we're raised. Do you know what I mean? So women, we're also at the mercy of like patriarchy. So sometimes there are going to be women that uphold certain things. So there will be women that are like, oh, that isn't masculine enough, or why are you behaving like that, and blah, blah, blah. But again, they're victims of the patriarchy the same way the men are. So I just think that in order for things to get better, everybody needs to be at an equal playing field, which is why I'm really funny about like men being protectors and women and all of that. I don't necessarily adhere to like gender roles.
100%.
And I
I can't.
And the reason I know I'm like that is because of how I was raised. Like I grew up in a household where I saw partnership. Like I didn't see anything else. Like my dad was domesticated. My mum went to work. My dad cooked. Like when I was at home, my dad could throw down and we would all be looked after. My mum was never worried about, the kids aren't going to eat. Do you know what I mean? So I grew up in that kind of household. Like my dad was very domesticated, would do chores. My mum, do you know what I mean? They would outsource people to come and fix things because it wasn't necessarily my dad's bag. So I always saw partnership. So for me, that's really important. So I don't believe in this thing of like men have this role and women have this role. I feel like everyone has their strengths and you lean into your strengths and you work together to make a better society. But again, women are at the mercy of patriarchy. So people are just like, things just trickle down.
Patriarchy. Okay, sorry, boohoo, the thing that you guys created is now not benefiting
this
you
is the
anymore.
thing,
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like women didn't decide on patriarchy. And that's why I say men need to be more empathetic towards men. That's when we're going to get to a place of vulnerability. That's when like be more towards each other.
And I even understand why women would be upholding those things, because you take the crumbs where you can get them. Do you know what I mean? Like if something can benefit you to give you an easier life, if it means that like I agree with this thing for an easier life, then I get why you would do that.
Yeah.
Whereas men actually have the control over like what things look like.
Yeah.
And they're still actively choosing to participate in very toxic things that don't benefit anybody.
And also, I don't think this is what you're saying or what you're saying either. I think the idea of women being more sympathetic towards men is kind of saying, well, if we're nicer to them, maybe they won't be monsters. Like if we let them be vulnerable, maybe they won't be bad people.
But they don't want to be though.
Like and that's not the case. You can actually be the nicest person to them and they might still be a monster. So I'm wary about that. Well, if we're nicer, maybe they might not be incels.
Yeah, I don't have any sympathy.
Like I'm just kind of like, I don't know. But anyway.
I'm just watching now. I'm just observing. I feel like I'm watching your podcast at home, but in a really closed computer.
But I feel very deeply about that.
You can't
that's
tell.
what it is. Can you not tell at all? I just think we all should be socialised.
You look down,
better.
I've just put acupuncture needles all in your shin. Like, in your anger man points.
Wait, okay, so now, obviously you've been in the music industry for a long time and you're now back with new music.
Yes.
What's changed from what you was making before to what you're making now?
It's so funny. So many people have asked me this.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's changed. I've just grown up. I feel like this album just feels like the first one. And I've kind of always, I feel like I've been the exact same the whole way through. Go with me on this because I'm going to go off a bit of a tangent here. But like if you listen to my first album, it was all me. If you listen to the second album, it was 90% me. If you listen to the third album, it was 50% me. And then that's when I went,
When you say it's not you, what was the
someone else wrote the songs.
Okay.
So like when you look at like Sweet Talker, which was my big US album, which was Bang Bang, Burning Up, Masterpiece. They were the 3 singles. I didn't write any of them. Lyrically, I didn't connect to those songs.
I'm so sorry.
I thought you wrote Bang
so
Bang.
before you got here, I was like, with all due respect,
She got a body like a now.
So we were listening,
but I can give it to you
that.
all the
And I was like, I'm so sorry,
time.
but that's not my favourite Jessie J song. And then I was like, and all she was like,
It's a
she
great
wrote that.
song.
Yeah, that was
I
like,
thought you
I
wrote
was
it.
like, oh, shit, sorry. I'm so happy you didn't like that. Great.
No, but it doesn't matter. No, I don't care. Some of the songs I have written, I'm like, oh my God, that's embarrassing. But no, I didn't write Bang Bang. And so like, if you listen to the half of the album that I did write on Sweet Talker, it was a song called You Don't Really Know Me. I can't remember some of the others, but like it was about heartbreak and it was like R&B, like guitar songs. So that made sense to me to where I'm at now. But again, success sometimes hides truth, right? And so the first album, like obviously Who You Are, Mama Knows Best, Price Tag, Domino, I wrote all of those songs, a lot of them with Claude Kelly. And so the second album, again, fame changed stuff, and I shaved my head, and everyone was like, oh my God, like the bob was more famous than me. So it was like, what is it? It's a cotton bud. But like, I was just trying to kind of get through it. And then the third album, it was like, okay, we've got all these songs. I recorded it in about 6 weeks, and I was just like, this is just not what I want. So I took a break, and then I went and did other bits and bobs. I did The Voice in Australia and kind of like just trying to figure it out, you know. And then I kind of took a break and was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. And then decided to try and leave my record label, and I couldn't. And then I wrote Rose, and then that was an R&B album. So like when I look at like what I've done and the journey I've taken, this album makes sense. This release, No Secrets, makes sense to me as musically. But I do believe that, again, one thing that I've grown with in the last few years is self-awareness. And when you made a point just now about women being mean to women, what makes me laugh is when a woman says something to me that I agree with that's mean, but she thinks I'm going to take offense to it. And she's like, I hate this. And I'm like,
yeah, same.
Actually, I do as well. I'm like she's so jarring. I'm like,
yeah, I hear
agree.
it.
Like, you know what I mean? So, and like, sometimes that's funny when people don't think that people are self-aware of certain things. But I do feel like if I look at my career as a metaphor, I feel like if I was a shop, I feel like for a lot of my success in career, what was in the front window as a display wasn't what I was selling in the back. And I feel like that's where the disconnect happened for me with music. And I feel like that's why people can feel, and that's why this release is feeling like it's connecting, because the music that I'm selling inside the shop is the same music in the window. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
So like when it was Bang Bang, it was great and I can't complain. Like it was massive. And I was just like, I felt like I've been like invited on a school trip. To like, you know what I mean? Like as exactly. Or like as like a +1. And I was like, yeah, let's go. Like the most awkward person ever with the two coolest people. But, you know, and I had this moment and it was so massive. But I was like, but honestly, I didn't connect to it the way I did with my own music. So I didn't write the songs. So like, and it wasn't that I hated it and I hated the songs. I was just like, oh, that doesn't. It's like if you guys all of a sudden were given scripts.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly
Imagine that. It's the same thing. You'd just be like, but it was massive, the script.
Yeah.
Like you went, like it just went off
huge.
the thing. And you're just, and everyone's like, isn't it amazing? You're like, there's bits of it that are.
Yeah.
But when I go to sleep at night, I don't feel proud. And I miss that. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do this anymore. I got pregnant. I met my boyfriend. Oh, love him. So grateful to have my son. You know, I was like, I'm just going to like write some songs, do some private gigs, live in a little, I don't know. I don't want to live in the country, but I like the idea of it. I can't.
Yeah.
Too much space. I need noise. I need to hear someone's near me. And then I went back in right before COVID and started writing an album as kind of a bit of a fun thing. And then in 2020, I went with Ryan Tedder and wrote an album with him. Then I got a new A&R. I got like 6 A&Rs in this process and I was just exhausted. And it just felt like I was proving myself again and again. And I was like, these songs were really good. Like, what else have I got to do here? Like, and everyone's like, Jessie J's a man. And I'm like, Jessie, yeah, but you're Jessie J. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, I haven't made money this year. What does that mean? Like, just being called like, oh, you're Jessie J doesn't mean nothing. You know what I mean? So I'm getting to my point, I think.
No, it's fine.
No,
but
it's a podcast. You don't have to make that story short.
2020, so I did that in COVID and then got pregnant. Well, I had my miscarriage and then I met my boyfriend because I did on my own when I had my miscarriage. Then I met my boyfriend. We got pregnant 7 months later. And then I had my son. Oh my God. And then I'd written up basically from 2019 to 22, I wrote 3 albums of music.
Oh, wow.
That just sat in my phone. And me and my record label, it disconnected. It just wasn't the same. I realised that I'm not a food chain girl. I'm the family-owned,
Italian restaurant, up the
hole
road.
in the wall,
Yeah.
home cooked. Like you can have the menu, and I micromanage everything. I'm across everything. If someone has to have a week off in my team, I won't fall apart.
Yeah.
I'm very self-sufficient. Maybe. I might
Yo,
fall
her
apart.
team's like,
The team's
They're like, you look over and they're all like bleeding and they're like 100%. No, but I am very self-sufficient, sometimes to a negative point, but I love what I do. I know who I am and I know that I am the artist, that it has to come from me.
Yeah.
Right? So I knew that giving up the big food restaurant chain would have its losses, but also knew what I'd gain. And what I feel like now with this new music, it just is layers of me. I've got dance music, acoustic, pop. Like the next song that comes out on the 16th of May is so different to No Secrets. But we're not all the same person every day.
Yeah.
So I don't want to make music like that.
And also, people don't listen to the same music every day.
Exactly.
I like my artists can give me like, I think that's what
100%.
Beyonce has done really, really well. That like, hey, I'm across all of these genres. Do you want a bit of this? You can still get
100%.
Beyonce in this bit. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I kind of have just let go of like, I feel like again, when you kind of try and process it too much, it can sometimes feel a bit inauthentic. But I just think people can sniff a fake. And I just feel like it got to a point where I had too many decorations on my Christmas tree. And it just like, you couldn't even see the tree anymore. And I was like, I need to just take them all off and start again and just simplify this. And that's where I think I'm at now.
Did something happen to be like, oh, this needs to come off? So I think sometimes when you're on that high, you're like, this is great. And then something happens, you're like, what am I doing?
kept trying to put stuff out and it just kept not happening. I was embarrassed. And I went to China and did a TV show there. And I won that. And it was like, how can I be this celebrated and respected? And like, the Daily Mail write about how I had a deep V dress on and I'm just like, come on now. Like, give me a little respect, man. Like, celebrate what I'm doing. I'm traveling around the world, like representing the UK. Like, if you see me, you might not be able to see the show because it's in China, but obviously some of it went viral. I did 13 episodes. I lived there for 4.5 months. I won the show. Like, the finale had 1.2 billion viewers.
Crazy.
Like, I'm there literally talking like this, going like, I love the UK, but do the UK love me? That's how I felt for a long time. So coming home has been a real healing thing for me. And I just really want to enjoy this music.
Do you feel loved, and how can the UK show that they love you?
I feel like the media have such a powerful decision on how people view people. And I think when I was younger and I first like was famous, the UK media, not always, they championed me a lot of the time, but sometimes they just gave this impression that I was this really scary, intimidating, angry person. And when you're not, and you feel like you have to spend most of your time justifying that you're not, it's just gets boring. You can't even do your work
because you get there, be like, hey, I need to prove that I'm not this person that they are. Then I can do my job.
I met people going, hello, nice to meet you. Like literally like, I bought you a gift. You know what I mean? Please like me. And it was just a point where I was like, no, but sadly people believed it. And that is one of the reasons I moved to LA because I was like, I just need a bit of normalcy back and to feel like people see me for who I am. And I have felt since like 2000 probably, but again, I haven't been in the territory. So I'm self-aware that I can't be champion when I'm not actually delivering what I can be champion for. So let's see what happens.
How do you think that they created that narrative about you? Like what kinds of things would the media
because I knew what I wanted, especially like women, like when I worked with female producers and stuff, when I would know what I'd want and I'd stick up for like the artists on The Voice, for example, like it sometimes didn't go down very well. And that, you know, I get it now, like looking back, I understand like, but I've always been for the people. I'm an empath. Like
you don't have to get it. That could just been people did shitty things to you. Like you standing up for yourself and be like, hey, I'd rather not do that. It doesn't make you a bad person.
But it wasn't even that they did shitty things to me. It's just like, no, I don't want to do that. And it'd be like, but we want you to do that. I'm like, oh, that's lovely, but I don't
want to. Yeah.
So that's enough. I can compromise and let's sit down and I'll be in part of the conversation, but I'm not going to just be a puppet. And sadly, that is what happens. Like you spend years as an artist developing your style, your look, your music, your sense of personality on camera, whatever. And then someone comes along and goes, this person's going to dress you. This person's going to write your songs. This person's going to tell you what to say. And then you just get resentful and you're just like, so what is it that I actually do? But I never was like that. So I was always just going, I don't want to wear that and I don't want to sing that. So, but if you just let me do what I do, I've never been as successful as my first album, guys. So maybe something I was doing was right. So that's where I'm at now. And this album feels like 2.0 of who you are.
Do you know how Nicki Minaj always talks about like the machine being against you? Is that a thing that you believe is true, that when the machine of the media is against you, then it can go to shit?
I think people just go along with whatever's going on. So if it's something negative, people jump on it because it's getting clout and it's getting attention. But I kind of just try and stay out of drama, if I'm honest. My best I can.
What are your fans like? How would you fix it? The other day we were talking on our Patreon episode and we were saying we don't like critique, even if it comes from like our listeners.
Oh, I like
and it's
it.
constructive. Like, obviously, with
Oh, it's
social
not.
media,
If it's not constructive, it's just savage.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
just either.
Like, I
Like,
hate your pink.
Yeah,
stuff.
like,
constructive
what have I done to
or
you?
any form of critique, whether it's constructive, whether it's a little bit more savage, and like, how do they deliver that to you? Like, do you read your DMs and stuff like that, and do you look at comments?
No, my DMs is just people I follow because it would
Right.
just get out of
Yeah,
hand.
same.
Yeah.
But comments I read for sure. I find it funny. Honestly, it goes in one ear and out the other now. And when people are savage, I actually, first of all, I either pray for them, want to hug them, or I laugh because I agree. Some of the savage things people say kills me. But also, I am an easy person to like comment on because I am so animated and like,
Just so yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like, I do it to myself. Like the whole, and I just think you got to be able to laugh at yourself.
And
And
also
also-
about it as well.
But I always think of it like if you like walked into a restaurant,
Yeah.
and you stood in front of 50 people and you said, who here likes my outfit? 10 people are going to say no.
Yeah.
They're the 10 comments. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Mm.
You just got to let it go.
Still working on that.
I think, because I was saying to you earlier about someone, it's like, I have this thing about people who were in the fame, but like I determined to always sit pretty and look pretty and never. I'm like, God, is that
Meanwhile,
not
literally, my
exhausting?
vagina's out.
Yeah.
And my skirt is on the wrong way round.
Surely
It's a bit
that's
too big.
exhausting, and
I'm just
it's to avoid fatigue. It's to avoid someone saying, "Oh, did you see this?" But I'm like, live a little
I think it's just about like,
as you do that.
you got to, and I'm literally like, so basically, no, I think I've just got to a point and an age, and as well, like, I feel like people have said it all, and like,
Yeah.
the amount of times, like in the last few weeks, people have said to me, because obviously I'm a bit new. Obviously people have always asked for pictures, but it's gone into another, even this week, right? Because people have seen me around and I've got my hair cut. You know what I mean?
That's nice.
The bob is back.
Thanks.
Bob is
Mm.
there.
I mean, it's always been there, but in a ponytail because I'm in mum mode.
Fair.
So like, it's there, but
Yeah.
just not looked after. But like, people go, "Do you have a specific filter you like to use, like fat?" And I'm like,
Oh.
absolutely
No,
not.
it's for them. Really.
Yeah, and I know, but I'm just
Yeah.
like, no, girl. I'm like, I've probably got food in my teeth.
I'd rather you didn't use a filter.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
even just me doing like promo with no makeup on and just a red lip, like, I never
skin
thought I'd
is
get to that point.
Yeah,
so
your
good,
skin is
though.
banging.
Oh,
though.
thank you so much.
Like,
Both of you have
I
great
kept
skin.
looking at you the whole time. I was trying to figure
Is
out
it?
if you had makeup on. Like,
Yeah.
I've got a little bit of
tinted.
tinted concealer and
No,
like,
your skin
is
tinted-
brilliant.
Thank you so
What have
much.
you been doing?
I just don't tan,
Acupuncture.
clearly. Yeah. Just cover my face in needles. I don't really get facials. I feel like they make me
Oh.
break out.
Yeah.
But I have a really clean diet. I'm big on probiotics. You've got to
Okay.
feed that gut good vibes.
I need that for my gut.
And Simprove is
Oh my God,
amazing.
it's
I'm not
nice.
doing a plug, but Simprove is amazing.
Simprove.
It's like a liquid that you drink every morning.
What does
Okay,
it
I might
taste
try
like?
that.
'Cause I'm
No,
really
it's
childish.
good. The original one is vom.
Yeah, no, she's very childish.
Yeah, no,
She's
the original one is not a vibe.
Mm-mm.
We're not going to say what it tastes like. But the mango one is really good.
Okay, I can get down with mango.
So yeah, it's good every morning before you eat anything. I literally have given it to you and I give it to everyone. I'm like, we need to cleanse your gut. But I eat clean. I wash my makeup brushes every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day.
Oh my God.
And I only use like 3.
What? So once you use it, you just
I
give
use
it
an
a little
egg and a
scrub.
brush
Yeah.
and that's it. I don't really wear a lot of makeup.
Hmm.
So,
That's so good. Right, we've got
You
2
look
dilemmas
great.
for you. Do you
I'm
want to do
ready.
them? All right, okay. I'll read it out.
What are the people going through? They're always going through.
They're
I'm
always
behind the pink
something.
curtain and I don't know when the best time. Imagine.
To pop out is.
to reveal my. It's Aisha. It's Aisha behind the curtain. Can I have some
Okay.
water?
Of course you can.
Please.
All right,
Thank
okay,
you.
so I'm going to read it out to you. Normally, no, I was going to skip it out. I'm not going to skip this bit out. Hey, ladies, love listening to your podcast, my daily commute to work. The dilemma about the dry lip guy had me howling.
Oh no.
Audrey,
Dry
you
lips.
trying to be the dilemmas whilst laughing throughout had me in tears.
So bad.
Attempt to control my car on the motorway was a difficult task, LOL. Now to my dilemma. I'm in a same-sex relationship. We are both female. We have been married for almost 2 years. We are happy for most of the part. However, our sex life is literally non-existent. Sex has always been an issue in our relationship, even pre-marriage. Whenever I would try to bring up the topic and try to explain the importance sex has to me in my relationship, my wife would make it clear she does not want to be intimate. Oh, my wife would make it clear she doesn't want to initiate, sorry. I would prefer different
My
meanings.
wife would make it clear she hates me. I mean, sorry.
My wife would make it clear she doesn't want to initiate. We prefer me to do this. She's explained to me that she has a low libido. This has seemed to last our entire relationship and that sex isn't something that's on her mind or it's a feeling and thought, something that comes and goes. If I'm honest, as much as I admit I could initiate sex more, I do feel unwanted by my wife. So even thinking initiating isn't a fun thought. Very early on, we established that we had different love language. My love language is physical touch, and hers is words of affirmation. She isn't a touchy-feely person, and even kissing isn't something we do on a regular basis. Yo. I can't help but feel defeated about the lack of sex we have and what this means for our marriage. I know I'd never be unfaithful, but I can't help but think about my past relationship where there was less commitment, but how great the sex was. I think about my friends in relationships that aren't married, that speak openly about how great their sex life is. I wonder why we don't have that in our marriage. Secretly, I did hope that maybe our sex life would improve once we got married, but this hasn't been the case. What separates us right now is from being friends or roommates. Does she even find me physically attractive anymore? Is there a bigger block on why we ain't having sex? Any advice would be greatly appreciated. The girl is struggling.
And she's got no idea Jessie J is going to be helping her.
Jessie J.
Is when we play Do It Like a Dude.
What are we saying?
So there's a lot to unpack in there, isn't there? So, I mean, first of all, obviously there's a lack of communication because there's a lot of questions that she should be asking her, not us.
Right, okay.
So that's the first thing. I think any questions that you have, you offer to the person that you're experiencing life with to give them the opportunity to like not tell you or tell you what you need to know.
Yeah.
And then second of all, I think it's about accepting and not expecting.
Explain.
As instead of wanting something to be something, accepting that it isn't. So, because you'll lose your mind. And I do that with a lot of situations in life. But I think when it comes to sex, I think some people are just different. And you either have to accept it and go, okay, this is what our marriage is. Once you've had the conversation, communication is key. You have to have an open conversation. Say how you feel. Say what you need. Come up with solutions. Don't come with a problem. Come with, so I've been thinking, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
Are you open to an open relationship? Are you open to
timetable? Like, hey, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays we have sex.
Let's get it in.
Can we?
It's not
and
sexy,
it's so funny.
but
But even when you're dating someone, you schedule it in. You know, yo, what you up to? Like, you prepare. And I feel like even in marriage or like long-term relationships, you still need to prepare.
Yeah.
And obviously, when you're busy or you have children, like even more so, it's like, yo, tomorrow night. And then it's like, okay. Then there's that feeling that you know it's going to happen and like you can prepare your body or like, you know what I mean? Whatever you want to do, get ready and like set the vibe. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's key. And I think people don't feel like you need to do that once you're married and you do.
Yeah.
Sometimes, sometimes off the cuff is needed. But I just think that everybody is who they are. And I think it's probably frustrating for her because if when they met, they had that and now they don't, something shifted and then it's hard not to take that personally. But if she has said to her that it's just, I've got a low libido, maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe she's low in a vitamin. It could be so many different reasons. It could be something with her thyroid.
Yeah.
Like this is where I go into like Dr. Jess. But like I always say like, it's so important to look at all those different things. So communication is key to start with. And then also just going, how important is this for me? Like once you've got all those things out, do I want to be in a relationship where I don't have sex? No.
Yeah.
So then you move on.
Yeah. If it's like, hey, I've said it and the person's like, it can't be more than this one a week that we're
I'm
doing.
not willing to try.
Yeah. And if you know that I actually can't do this.
Yeah. Are you willing to go to a sex therapist? Are you willing to sit face to face with the candle on and just talk about sexual things?
Exactly.
Like, and intimacy also doesn't have to be sex. Like intimacy can be having a bath together, reading a book together, like watching a TV show together. Like start doing things together because obviously they don't. And maybe then just make out.
Yeah.
Or like, how about you go, like me and my boyfriend, I probably shouldn't tell anyone this. When we first met, we would do this thing where we would get on the train. See, I do get on the train. Or like we would go somewhere like to a bar or something and we would pretend that we didn't know each other and meet for the first time.
Yeah.
So it just like, it would just be fun. And then there was actually a point where we got so deep in the role play that I panicked and was like, wait, I need to come out of it because I feel like I can't and I'm never going to be able to be me again. And I was a bit drunk. And I remember I was like, can I have a second? I went into the toilet and I went, hello, my name's Jessica.
I'm not Carol.
Into the mirror. No, I'd never be Carol. Carol can't do nothing I want to do. No shade on any Carols, but all the shade. But I was looking in the mirror and I was just like, I'm Jessica. This is your normal voice. Because I think I was doing an American accent or something. And I remember just being like, I'm never going to be able to get out of this character. Yeah,
that is a Black Mirror episode, you know?
Yes.
Like role play gone wrong.
100%
You
you can't get out.
Yeah,
Get
out
of it. That's the kind of thing. Like, I've gone all hot. Can I just text my acupuncturist?
You are Jessie.
I'm like,
you are in London.
Yeah.
You're on the Receipts podcast. It's fine.
Yeah. But like things like that, like make it fun. Like I just feel like, if I'm honest, I do feel like people have, especially in the UK, and don't have a go at me UK people, I'm looking at you down the camera. I do feel like there's this thing of like, let's complain about the problem.
Well,
find the solution. Let's talk about the solution. Like, I just feel like people love to moan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do love a moan.
Like, it's so cold. Accept it. You live in England. It's cold.
England. It's gonna
Go
rain.
and get a warmer coat. Buy a flask, invest in a flask, and carry a tea
Carry it
around.
with you.
Like,
Yeah.
make a solution to the problem. Like, stop complaining about the same old thing. Like, that is my pet peeve about living here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we are a bunch
I think
of
that's
moaners.
valid. We do definitely complain.
And it's so that's my thing. Make us find all the things
Yeah.
that you feel comfortable to try to make a solution. And if you can't, girl, it's time to leave.
I do think being in the same sex relationship, it will be interesting in who initiates. Because I think in straight relationships, as someone who probably wouldn't not like to initiate all the time, I can imagine it being that person, but the other person just like, yeah, you're just going to have to be the person that plays that role.
But do you feel like then if you're in a mix, like if you're in a man-female relationship like that, they should initiate?
I would rather not initiate all the time.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's interesting after everything you just said.
I should get more acupuncture.
100%. More needles to the face.
No, like I don't mind every so often, but I think there's a thing of like, I like to be desired. So that's what
But do you
it
not
is.
think a man likes to feel desired?
Yeah.
Hey.
They do, you know, but
Probably.
they say that, you know.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
like,
probably, yeah.
I feel like if like you're in a long-term relationship and he's not initiating it, I think it is because like they want to feel like they're wanting
100%.
to.
Yeah,
you two
like
try.
they
Yeah.
definitely want to feel.
Yeah.
But that sex
100%.
thing is coming up so often. It's like one of our most common dilemmas.
People just
I
not
think
having great
since
sex
COVID,
lives.
it's been hard.
Yeah.
Or
And not hard.
Or
And
not.
not hard. It's
Or
not
hard, no one's around, you know.
Just
But
been a
yeah.
soft shit show.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
been a flaccid performance.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do think that's what it is. It's communication. You have to talk to her. You have to be like, babe, this is...
But as I said, foreplay
schedule
is
it.
everything.
Yeah.
Like you need, like I remember Play My Face said recently that foreplay is like everything that you do in the day for each other.
Oh my God,
It's
I believe
acts of
that
service.
so
Yeah.
much. It's before sex time starts.
100%.
Like from like 8
You definitely
a.m.
have to set the tone. Can't
Yeah.
just walk in and just wham bam.
Like when my man
Wow.
brings me in breakfast on a plate, that's like a breakfast that I actually really want.
Yeah.
And he just looks at me and he winks and he goes, I'm on a phone call or something. I'm just
That's
like,
good.
like I'm just, you know,
that's good.
you know, and then like, it's just those little things like that can be foreplay. When you're in a, like, you know, when you're younger and like, you kind of not live a double life, but like you date someone and you like meet up at like 9 o'clock at night and it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, where are we going? Like, and you're so tired.
Yeah.
And like, but like when you then are in a relationship with someone and you live with them, you have to adjust and like communicate more. And,
Yeah.
How did it go from being single Jessie in LA to then finding your partner now?
Raya, if I'm totally blunt.
you?
Oh,
really?
If we're gonna be, let me give you something that I've never spoken about before.
Oh.
Did you? Nobody gets
It
luck from
actually
that. How did that
worked.
go down?
I mean, I got a baby and a man.
And a man, a
worked,
good man
So
as
I
well.
was in New York and he was in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say what both of us was doing because it wasn't being with each other. But he was in, yeah, plot twist. He was in New York. And so I only saw him because I was in New York. And this is probably bad to admit, but I was always too embarrassed to like say that I liked them in case it didn't come back.
That-
And I
yeah.
And also I'm very impatient.
Same.
I like to get to the point. And obviously Raya's connected to Instagram. So then I followed him on Instagram and then I unfollowed him because I was like, nah, he ain't going to be into me. I'm not going to try and ruin his life. Because that's how I feel like fame can sometimes, people
Yeah, it
become like
changes
Jessie
their
J's
life.
boyfriend
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
hate
yeah.
that. And then so I followed him again because I couldn't stop thinking about him.
Aw.
So then he messaged me and said, you're way too cute to follow, unfollow, follow and not say
He
anything.
said you're better than that.
And I was like,
I am better than that.
I was like, and you know what? Because when I fell in love with him, the day that we spoke on the phone for like 5 weeks, the day I was supposed to fly home, I got COVID. And so the day we FaceTimed for the first time, I had COVID and I looked so rough. So it was I think it was the 2nd of January was the day that we met. So I flew home. I was supposed to go home for Christmas and I was like, it was right after my miscarriage that he and I had met. And it was not long at all after that. And so then I started talking to him about that and he was just this calm person. And then the day we met, I never forget, it was at the Corinthia Hotel we met. And I'd just flown in from LA and I was so hot and flustered. And I came downstairs and he was standing by the lift leaning on it like he was in a rom-com. He's the smoothest guy. And he was just looking at me and he was just making like perfect calm eye contact. And I was just like, hello. I couldn't even look at him even though we'd like talked on FaceTime every day for like 6 weeks. And then our first date was, we went to Winter Wonderland.
Oh, cute.
Oh, cute.
And it was the last day it was on. And he kissed me in the middle of Winter Wonderland.
Oh, he's smooth.
And I knew in that moment, I was like, you just love me because of me and not, he didn't care that people were looking. Like,
yeah.
every guy, most of the guys I've ever been with were just always just so scared to like celebrate me and like own it. Like,
Yeah,
for all
yeah.
different reasons. But like, I was just like, people are looking. He was like, do you think I care?
Yeah.
Like, and that was it.
That's a good man,
It's a
Savannah.
nice story.
Yeah, he's a good man. He's a very good man. He's so loyal and he's the most incredible father.
Oh, that's so.
Yeah,
and also for
that's
that
beautiful.
to happen after everything you've been through, and then to get the gift of your
I
son
feel like
after
that's
it as
why.
well. Yeah,
It was like, no. We've got something for you. It's just not yet.
It's
And I
that
truly
perfect
believe
picture
that.
of like your plan, God's plan.
100%.
Yeah.
And I still believe that the spirit of the baby that I lost is in my son too.
Yeah.
So I just feel like he was like, no, I'm not ready, mummy. Like, this is not the right way to do it. I want you to have daddy with you. I don't want you to do it on your own.
Aww.
That's so
I know.
beautiful. That is beautiful.
But that's how I felt. And when he was born, like on the C-section video, every time I lose it, I'm crying. And my boyfriend's laughing but crying because he's not really a big crier.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
he's like, and I don't think either of us thought we were going to be as overwhelmed as we were with love.
Yeah.
But he comes out and he's so calm, the baby, and he's just like, and I just went, I've waited my whole life for you. And I just lost it and he lost it. And we were just like, meh. But yeah, so I'm just so lucky that I met him on a dating app.
I know. It works.
No, it's a good app.
No, but I always shoot my shot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
they're good.
always
Shooter.
the
I
person
like
that's
that.
like, you're fit.
Yeah.
How about we go for dinner? I'm that guy.
Oh, your eyes are still watery. So I
I
can't
know,
look at you. Okay,
Oh,
new
that was
music.
beautiful.
What should
Yeah.
people expect? And where should they find you? Just
Under their beds.
do the same thing.
Singing in the streets. So new music, what can you expect? Just a bit of everything. It really feels like a diary entry that you can sing along to.
Nice.
I feel like it's the extremities of life. Like this really like, I lost a friend to suicide 7 years ago who was one of my best friends. And I don't think I've ever fully recovered. But I wrote a song called I'll Never Know Why. And I never recut it. It was the demo right after it happened. And I wrote it with Ryan. It's so sad. But it feels like a capsule of like 3.5 minutes where you can put it on and just let the grief come up and come out. Like almost trigger yourself, you know?
Yeah,
It's like a laxative for tears. Like that's literally how it feels.
Yeah.
And so there's those songs. And then there's like a dance song that I really want to get Burna Boy on.
dope.
I can make that happen.
I love Burna Boy.
Same.
Yeah. Let's both find him.
We'll find him.
So yeah, there's pop. There's
Yeah.
big pop songs. There's there's just, yeah, it's very, very personable to me, but also very relatable because things that I've been through are superhuman. Do you know what I mean?
Are you going to be going on the road with it?
Yes, I am. Yeah,
Have you got dates yet or not announced?
Yes,
Okay.
very soon. They might even be announced by the time this
Oh, dope.
comes
Okay,
out.
cool. Exciting.
So even if they're not, then there's so many cameras. I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm like looking at your
Like-
team to try and figure out what it is. But like you'll hear about it.
Oh
And
yeah.
Yeah.
My
thank you.
Instagram. You can.
Jessie J. It's
Yeah, I'm Jessie
Yeah,
J.
there's only one man.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah,
let's be
yeah.
for real.
TikTok, all the things.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
even
yeah.
know.
Having a good time though with it now.
I love it, man.
Okay, good.
Good.
I get up at 5. I batch cook for my son. I meditate a little bit. I
Yeah.
tidy up. I do the washing. I do everything. I have so many hats and
Make
I love
some
all my
music.
roles. I love all my roles.
Yeah.
And I wash
Wow.
my makeup brushes.
We love that for you.
I can't believe you do that every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I only don't have many brushes that I use, but I think it's so important.
I'm
People
gonna
always
have to
ask me
try.
like, what do you do for your skin? I'm like, I don't really drink anything other than like, I have the odd Sprite every now and again, but not often. But like, I don't drink, I
Yeah.
don't smoke.
Oh, it's the alcohol, man.
That's what it is. Above all the bad things I do, it's the
Get rid
alcohol.
of it. Yeah.
Too much acupuncture.
Everyone says that. We've got to
But
get rid of the
yeah.
alcohol.
But yeah, Jessie, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me,
You were
guys. I'm
amazing.
so happy I
It's
didn't
been
to beg you
amazing.
not pay.
Welcome back, but genuinely welcome back. It's
Thank
like,
you.
as someone we've been listening to you since, I always feel like proud of British artists because it's like, it feels like home. We know Jessie. Oh my God, it's Jessie J. And I'm so glad British people still get to feel that feeling of, oh my God, it's Jessie J.
Yeah, I love
So
that.
thank you for your music. Thank you for what you've done.
Thank you.
And
For what you've done. It's so nice how much you bring people together.
yay. Thank you guys so much for listening.
I do hate your background though. I'm joking.
I was gonna say, we worked so hard on this thing. If you knew the way we both leaned forward, like
You
what?
both went,
If you knew the story, but if you knew the story behind the backdrop,
The way was
you literally literally went, excuse me?
Not the backdrop.
Not the backdrop. Sorry, I had to say something
Wait,
to
when can
see.
we see you in comedy mode? I want to see a show now.
It's all happening.
Okay,
It's all coming.
amazing. Okay, that's really good fun. Okay, cool. Thank you so
And
much.
when you come, I'll have this backdrop.
Yeah, like Jessie J.
Yeah.
Search this out. Just Jessie J.
The Savage Podcast.
I've been your girl, Tony T.
And just call me Audrey.
And
I'm Jessie J.
thank you.